Listen to this. Listen.
Let them know that we are taking over New York City.
When you say the hitting portion,
yes,
it's, I believe, the third course of action after two far lighter things, right?
Correct.
So in other words, you give your wife a warning of 2 warnings like she's a dog. And you've got to understand they're doing this on the blood of the ancestors that died during 9/11, right there. And now you've got the public cheering for this, the people that murdered your families.
It's very common is that it's a religion of violence.
Yes.
And that people, its followers are people of violence, when actually the Quran talks about mercy repeatedly, far more than any book and revelation prior.
I don't speak Arabic, so when I'm reading on the Quran.com, there's 10 translations. One says one thing, one says another one. One of them is like, if your wife is disobeying you, you can strike her lightly or beat her. Is it strike her lightly? Is it beat her? What context is there? Because I imagine that you don't support that.
So let's just quickly read that. It says, translation by A. Maldudi. With the protection given by Allah, as for women of whom you fear rebellion, convince them and leave them apart in beds and beat them. Right, I just want to make sure I'm on the right page.
No, okay, so let me explain to you what that is. Are you married?
I'm not.
Okay, do you have a girlfriend?
I hope to be one day.
You have a girlfriend?
I don't.
Okay, so when it says, you can beat your wife or you can strike your husband, strike your wife lightly. First of all, it's not something that puts the woman down or things of that nature.
Did he just say that beating your woman doesn't put her down? What the hell did I just hear? Well, Allah would have them guard, but those wives from who you fear arrogance, first advise them, then if they persist, forsake them in bed, and finally strike them. And he's saying this, man, this isn't putting down a woman. Beating her is not putting her down. And you've got loads of women here cheering for this. Yay! Beat me up! Brilliant!
You have a girlfriend?
I don't.
Okay, so...
Hello, Shiv and Just. We're just looking at a video that's taken place over the last weekend in New York City.
When it says, you can beat your wife or you can strike your husband, strike your wife lightly. First of all, it's not something that puts the woman down or things of that nature. And it's the harm, if harm is supposed to come from it, right? Let me give you an example. Hold on. Yeah. I want to make it very clear.
Absolutely.
Give me a second. We are not allowed to strike one another in the face. Okay. And when it does say the word that is used in Arabic, right? Yeah. In context, it makes no sense. If we are not allowed to bring bodily harm to someone, then in what sense does it make for me to be able to discipline my wife from a place of harming my wife?
So in other words, you give your wife a warning of 2 warnings like she's a dog, and if she doesn't follow your rules, then you can beat her, but don't beat her on the face. And apparently what he's just said is it doesn't matter because that's not putting a woman down. So this man here just now has said if a woman oversteps the line 2 times after warnings, you give her a little tap to just say don't do that, and it's not going to cause her no harm. There's a prime example for you, ladies and gents. Yeah, she doesn't look afraid, does she? She doesn't look afraid of him, and I'm pretty sure she's asking for that, and she's really, really happy for that. If I point this out, I'm the hateful one. I'm the hateful one for showing this. Me, I'm the problem. Does that look like women sitting around that are happy? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus the mum. 6 women sitting there fearful of a man who's pulling off a belt and beating the fuck out of them.
Why is it that so many terrorist organizations are Muslim?
There's bad apples in every group.
Oh, here we go. Excuses. Fantastic.
There are terrorist Muslims, there are terrorist Jews, there's bad people in every group. But also you gotta think about the fact that Islam isn't like a geographical thing. There's Muslims in all of Africa, and a lot of South America, Central Asia, and East Asia as well. So if you want to put all these groups together, you want to put the African, the South African, the East African, the Middle Eastern, you're gonna get a large group.
Right.
For example, if you want to do just American terrorism group, you would have 300 million people.
Yeah.
That's in the United States, but you're going off a geographical place. But Islam is not bound by geographical.
Right. And what are some like big Christian terrorist groups?
KKK.
Did he just... Oh my God. This is just so stupid. Are you really comparing the KKK to what is happening around the world with Islam? Find me a member or a terrorist group of the KKK right now. I've said this on the channel for flipping year. I've wanted to sort of do a video about the Ku Klux Klan because I'm interested in knowing about it, who's in it, what it's about, to expose it and talk about it on here. There is nothing about it anywhere.
That's a big one. I mean,
Assalamu alaikum. I'm sorry, guys.
it just happens to be the organizations that are carrying it out happen to be Muslim. That's not something we can control.
They just so happen to be Muslim. Oh dear, apparently the KKK is doing more damage than Islam. Jesus Christ.
What are your thoughts on what you're seeing here?
Oh, it's on a number of levels just outrageous. Ultimately, we're Christians. I don't know what your channel's all about or anything, but to us, this is scandalous because, number one, it's an affront to the God of the universe. Muhammad was a false prophet. Allah is a false God. And number two, everything that Islam stands for is contrary to just basic American values and decency.
Yep.
So do you not feel that Islam is compatible with the West?
No,
their ideology?
no, absolutely
So
not.
what about their ideology do you feel is not compatible with it?
Well,
So do you have a decimal?
number one, they don't believe in religious freedom or in the freedom of speech. Muslims, even in the West, have been outspoken about that. Obviously, in some context, it's not advantageous to admit that. But if you look at some of the prominent Islamic Da'is, as they're called, the equivalent in Islam of an evangelist,
Yes.
they are pretty outspoken that Islam does not believe in freedom of religion.
It's about moving into countries and dominating from within. We've seen it in the United Kingdom massively. I mean, this video that came out this past weekend in Whitechapel, where you had the white police officer woman going up to the community and speaking to them, and they're saying, you can't do this, you can't preach about Christianity. This is this is our community. Like, you've got no right to be here. Like, what are you even talking about? It's England. Everyone's got a right to be here. What are you talking about? If London was predominantly Muslim and the government was a Muslim, right, do you think they're going to have traditional values of the British institution pushed, or do you think they're going to push stuff more towards their ideology? Considering you've had Shabana Mahmood come out and say Islam first, Sadiq Khan, Islam first. Hang on, when they're in power, they're going to put this country first? No, they're going to put their faith first. And they're telling you that. They've told you that time and time again.